Hi guys, and welcome to the fourth and last part of our invoice app tutorial. In this video, we gonna create the printing functionality to our app, so we'll be able to print our invoices. I have created a new partial inside our views invoices, which is called invoice HTML ERB. You can easily copy and paste from my GitHub repo. So basically, this file is similar to our form, despite the fact that there is no inputs but only p tags. And note that id of our spans or p are similar, so it's just if in form we have id of 2, here we have id of 1, of 2 also, but with the word model underscore 2. And in our items table we have an empty t body, so we will add the values from our t body from our items through JavaScript. So let's create a button, so we'll be able to click our button and the model will appear. Go back to our form and find where is our submit button, and let's create a new button. With class btn, let's say btn info, btn small. ID of our button will be invoice button. Also create data toggle model, so it will create a model. It will when you click on our button, the model will appear. Data target, which equals to invoice model. Inside we'll put a name, let's say show invoice. Okay, save our file, and then just below let's create our model. This is a pretty standard model which you can find in Bootstrap. So let's go to Bootstrap, getbootstrap.com, click JavaScript, and then find model, and then I'm gonna pick the large model, so this one. Let's go here, just copy this content and I'm gonna paste it here, and I'm gonna add ID of invoice model. So inside our model content, I'm gonna put div, additional div with class container fluid. And invoice wrapper. Let's add style. An ID of print me. And then I'm gonna render our invoice partial like this. Render. Okay, and then let's add the styles. You can write the styles into separate CSS rule, but for now just leave it here. Width of in pixels. Okay, after that I'm gonna add our model footer. Div class model footer. Then inside create button with class button btn primary, which will print our actual content. So for now I'm just leave it this, just add a word print, save that file, and go back to console and type Rails S. So I'm gonna launch our web server, and don't forget to create special print SCSS file. So I've just copied and pasted this file from my GitHub repo. It will look like this. So when we have our print section, the only one print section will be visible, and the divs DOM elements which are not inside this print section, they will be not displayed. And I'm gonna add to our application as CSS this, save, and go to localhost. Go to the folder with your project, and then launch our server. Okay, let's go to our form, and then I'm gonna try to open up the model. So right now seems like it's all empty. It is not reading the values from our inputs, so we should add this functionality in our JS file. So let's go to our invoice.js file, or maybe main.js file. Yes, main.js file, and at the very bottom let's add the functionality. First of all, we should select our invoice button, this button. So when we click on this button, something should happen. So let's go. Body on. So maybe we should copy this content, paste it here, and change the ID from submit invoice to invoice button. Okay, and then inside our function we should create a loop for e which equals 1 till e which equals less than 11 plus plus, and then inside that loop create our ID and convert our e to string. And then I should create our special bind function inside our invoices.js file. We have created bind1, and now we should create the bind, so we'll be able to read our values from our inputs and paste it to our model. So let's write our function. The function which is called bind. Inside that function create this line, main and model. So there'll be value which reads the value from the main input, and then finds the model element, so element from the model, empties, and then sets the value. Just append and so this is all. Okay, let's go back to our main.js file and call this function bind. First we need to extract our ID, so in this case will be ID of 2. How we can do it? It's simple, from our ID variable. So first put dollar sign, and inside create our ID. So it will look like this. After that, we should find the model underscore one, for example. It will look like this, dollar sign, and inside model and plus ID, and this is all. It will find the value from this input, for example from this, and sets it here, or not set but append. Save our file and go back and refresh, and I believe that should work. So when we click, not exactly. So let's take a look what's wrong. See, our console is empty, so I'll go back. Var, add the var. Go to our form and check if ID is correct. Yes, ID is invoice button. The models are correct. Invoice model, okay, now okay, I found the error, so I forgot to add underscore to our model. Here, just save our file, refresh our page, and let's try type our fields. Now see, now they are all here. So after that, we need to copy our date. For example, if we pick the date, it will display here, and I want to be displayed here. Yes, it is displaying here, and this is here. So fine. Now go further. We need to add styles to our model invoice. So let's just open up your invoice as CSS file and paste these lines of code. Save that file. Let's try to refresh. This is our actual invoice. This is it. This is our class. Now here it will look similar to our form. Okay, let's go further, and we should fetch our invoice number here. See, now it is not displaying here because this is not form control. This is a simple P tag, simple paragraph. So let's go to our form and find the ID of our invoice number. This is here, invoice number. So copy that and go to your main.js file, and I'm gonna put these lines of code. First of all, we need to fetch our invoice number, the value. In this case, it will be text, not value, but text. And then simply append to our invoice model invoice number. Here it is, model invoice number. Just copy and paste it here. Add ID. First we need to empty, and then append. Append the variable n. Save that. Go back, refresh our page. Let's try to find out. Yes, it is here. Now see that the number of 10 is displaying here. Okay, next we should add our subtotal. So this is this value to this field. Now see, it's empty. So let's repeat our procedure. Just copy and paste. In this case, it will be subtotal. See that ID of subtotal. Copy and paste here, and model subtotal. This ID of our subtotal in model. Okay, and Control C, Control V. Or maybe we can, let's change here. Fine. Or maybe can refactor a little bit our code. Go back and create a new function which is called bind, let's say bind to. It will be similar to our bind, but here will be text, not value but text, and I'm gonna put a space site. So go back and let's try just Control C and Control V. It will be bind to. Will be subtotal and model subtotal. Yeah, syntax is correct, I believe. And repeat for invoice number. get model invoice number. So let's try to refresh our page and go back here. Here is our invoice number, and here is our subtotal. Now see, it's visible. If we try to change, now let's click on show and see it's not changing. So let's try to find the way to change the values dynamically. First of all, we need to fetch the values from our items. We don't know exact number of our rows, so we can do it dynamically. So let's try to fetch the number of our rows. I forgot one thing. We should add all these functions inside our click event, so it will be here. So it will calculate and copy and paste all the values from our form to model only when event is triggered, so when we show our invoice. Okay, now next I'm gonna find the number of rows in our items table in this tbody when the show invoice event is triggered. So read var rows, which is equals item row. Then we should empty our model tbody. So we should prepare to adding the new items. First of all, we need to empty. Let's find our model tbody. It is here. This is our model tbody. Control C and Control V, empty, and then create the loop, another loop from E, which equals 0 till E, which is less than the length of rows. Okay, inside our loop, let's declare our row. So there will be rows with index of I. So basically our rows, this is array, and this is an element of our array. Then fetch our name. So first we need to fetch the name. Name will be within row. We should find element with id item name. Remember that. This is our item name. So item name, and fetch its value, and then append to our model t body, append to our model. So let's find last model item. Oh, not model item, but model body. First we need to append our row. We just append our HTML element of table row with class equals to model item row. This is empty row, and then within this empty row we should append columns. So let's fetch this class. Model item row, find the last row, and then append our name. First we need to add the tag of td, then name, and then close the tag. Okay, good. Now let's go further. We need to add our description. Basically this is a same procedure, so we can just copy and paste. Okay, but in this case will be desk, not. And once we created a row, we just append the column. Copying same procedure with cost. And quantity. And with price, see that it's not form control, but is a simple p paragraph or span. So in this case it will be just not value but text. So var price will be, okay, here is not name but desk, and in this case will be quantity, cost and quantity, and in the case of price will be price. Okay, price text. And I'm gonna append price in span. Also I want to append our currency. So I'm gonna find the currency, the value of currency. So it's simple, just fetch value from this form control. Remember that the ID will be invoice currency. And just fetch its value. Okay, and then let's append our price to our newly created row in our model, and then append currency. Currency, maybe we should wrap it into span. Let's close our span. I forgot the tags. Yeah, now it works. Okay, save our file and go back to our local host. And now we see it's not working currently. So let's try to figure this out. Okay, I'm gonna check our syntax. Okay, I found the error, syntax error. Currently this is not model body, it's model T body. I have no idea why I typed model body, so just change it, save the file, go back and refresh, and here are our items. Let's try to add our row, and then here now, this is it, here it is. Here our newly created item. Let's try to change tax. Show, this is the value of our tax. And if we create our currency, for example US dollar, now see it is worked. And let's add a date. Okay, date is okay, yeah, fine. Now I'm gonna just fill out these fields, and it will read the values from these fields. Fine. Seems like we are done with our model, and then we should just print out this model. So let's close unnecessary files. Go back to our form, or open up, just create a new file inside our assets JavaScripts. I call it print.js. So we're gonna be able to create our printing functionality. First of all, let's declare the function of print div. It will take only one argument inside. We need to fetch our div which we want to print, and then create the element. Okay, element which equals of this element. In our case will be model, content of model. Element by ID of this div, and then we're gonna copy, say dom clone of this element okay. Now I'm gonna create a special print section, so it will be the copy of our model. Create our element so it will be div, and put the ID will be print section, so define the ID of our div. It will be print section. It will be similar as ID in our SCSS, our CSS rules. Here is it, print section. Okay, fine. Now we should append this element, the values from our actual model invoice. Print section, append child of DOM clone. And then we should create the we should append it first. Find body and insert before. Select our print section and insert before first child. Okay, and then we're gonna be able to print. So our window print. Okay, when we print, and after that we should clear our print section. So let's fetch alt element, fetch by print section, by ID of print section. We don't need it anymore, so we can clear it out. First we need to check out if it's not empty. Old element is not. No. And just remove first find parent. And then remove. Okay, and then just return true. Okay, I'm gonna check our syntax. Okay, don't clone this clone node ID. Note that I typed old element parent node remove child rather than just old element remove, because remove method is not supported by Internet Explorer. So yeah, this is for Internet Explorer. So save that file. Okay. Okay, now go back to our form and then just call this function. Find out our button of print. Oh, it is in our invoice. Partial. Yeah. Now just find. Where is it? Not invoice, but form. Here it is. This is our print button. And add this line on click. Call our function and put ID. Here is this print me. Control C. Okay, now save our file. I'm gonna refresh our page and like take a look if okay, let's try to print. And now see our classes are not appending. Let's try to fix this out. issue the issue is that now see our styles are not working, so we should go to application HTML ERB and paste this code media all. So we should apply our style sheet to all media and media print also. So let's go back and refresh, and let's try to print out our invoice. And now it's working, it's all working. So let's go and fill out our invoice with these lines. It doesn't matter, you know. Let's add our items, tax. Okay, and try to show. Now it shows properly and print out. Yeah, fine. Now it prints out. Now it will look like this on the paper. So okay, so it's working. And for today it's all. We have created our printing functionality, so don't forget to deploy, to commit our latest changes and deploy to Elastic Beanstalk by typing eb deploy. And this is all for today, and the next tutorial, in the next video, we're gonna create our date range search. There will be a small video. So for today it is all, and bye bye.